Okay. So this might be the first in series, I guess, of unpopular opinions. This is personal podcast number 4. I'll talk about Avengers Endgame, and just kind of Marvel movies as they are now, in retrospective as far as they've come. I didn't like Endgame. It was in the bottom 3/4 of all the Avengers movies, or all the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies. Um, the only ones that are worse are Civil War. I absolutely hated. I hate everything about that movie. It's just not good. It's something that didn't work in the comics and just doesn't work because it's too convoluted. You have to be too convoluted for it to make sense, and they did the best they could, and it still didn't work. I know people love that. My little brother adores that movie. I hate it. I think it's the worst. Ant-Man and the Wasp is objectively, as objective as you can get, is objectively the worst of all the films. It is an awful movie. Then the next one I would put is either Captain Marvel or Endgame. Captain Marvel I hate because Brie Larson. I liked the movie when I first saw it, but then I saw interviews with Brie Larson, and I'm not typically one that cares about actors and their personal stuff, but she is so unlikable in person that it retroactively made me hate her in that movie. But that's just Captain Marvel there. So Endgame, I adored Infinity War. I think Infinity War is deserving of its rank in terms of movie history. In Thanos in Infinity War, asterisk. In Infinity War, Thanos is one of the greatest villains of all time. He is fantastic. In Endgame, he sucks. He's trash as a villain. And Endgame, I just start from the beginning of the movie. It is so slow, awfully slow at the beginning. It's just, I was sitting there just waiting for something to happen and not caring about any of this. Why they jump ahead? Well, I'll step back 1 minute. When they go fight Thanos, that's fantastic because that's good Thanos. That's the end of Thanos. That that's the Thanos I love from Infinity War, right there at the end, living the meager life, having suited his purpose. That's fantastic, and I guess it's a bit late, but spoilers. And it's fantastic how Thor kills him, and it all makes sense. The jump forward in time is just nonsensical, and I just don't like the idea of that's not what the world will go to. Just because half people are dead doesn't mean it's half apocalypse. It's dumb. It's really dumb. I hate also the Force gay thing. It's just stupid, unnecessary. Then and it kind of speaks to one of the problems I have with these movies overall. So eventually it finally gets off its gear and time travel, which is interesting enough. It's kind of out there, but it is what it is. And they go interesting places with it. It's interesting to see them go back in other times. But it's nothing special. It's just, and see, the problem with it overall is it's so much of, they know exactly what the fans want and what they need to do to make that woo moment and nothing else. It's just a completely pandering and manufactured. There's no spirit to it. It's all form-fitted to what everybody wants. And it's just so fake. And yeah, I know we're talking about a movie with superheroes, but it just in terms of a movie, it feels like it's just designed to, there's no art to it. It's just the epitome of mainstream. It's just, there's nothing art about it. And I like my films to be art, and like, it's just so pandering, and maybe it's just not for me. Maybe, all the cultish Marvel fanboys, yeah, I guess you guys got exactly what you wanted, but is it better to get exactly what you want, or is it better to get something you never knew you wanted? And that's my favorite thing with film, is when I see something I've never seen before, and not when I just see exactly what I knew I wanted. That doesn't interest me. I want you to tell me what I want to see, and I want you to show me something new. Don't show me what I'm expecting to see. That's not interesting to me. I want to see something I would have never thought of, something new, something special. And these Marvel movies are just getting so predictable, and I don't really fall into the camp of they're going to win at the end, so why is it exciting? There's still suspense throughout the movie. You still get into the movie, and yes, they're going to win in the end. But it's still, it's still interesting along the way. You can still worry for the characters. But it's different. The difference between that and this movie is, in other movies, they're going to win. The hero usually always lives. It's just kind of how it happens. But you never really know what's around the next corner. These Marvel films are just getting so predictable that, there is no tension, because there's just nothing. You know exactly what's around the corner. You know exactly what's going to happen. And the suspense isn't there the same as it was, back in the old movies that were good. Like Iron Man 1 is a fantastic movie. But it's been diluted in its greatness by all the movies that have come after it. But I'm not as interested in these movies as I was at one point, because there's just too many of them, and they're just too diluted. My favorite is still probably Doctor Strange and Infinity War, pretty even. Because Doctor Strange shows me stuff I've never seen before, and Infinity War has a fantastic villain. And that's the one film that does break from the mold, and that they don't win, and they have to accept that. And honestly, I'll watch Infinity War multiple more times. I never have an interest to see Endgame again. I'm a little bummed out that Endgame is beating Infinity War in terms of box office sales, but that's just a sad day whenever you look at the box office charts nowadays. And yes, it has a fantastic battle then, but it's so, for better or worse, it's a kid playing with his toys. And I can play a lot better things with my toys. I'm sorry. It's cool, but there's nothing special to it. Infinity War had special things to it. It had moments and feelings, and I just really felt nothing. The only times I really felt anything was, Black Widow dying was, sad. Because, she's been with it a while, but it makes sense. Then, Iron Man's daughter, it was my favorite thing about the film. Because, I love that. I love Tony Stark settling down, having a family, and moving on. And honestly, when we were getting to a point where they're, showing ideas to Tony and stuff, I was like, well, no, just accept that everybody's gone and move on with your lives. That's kind of how I felt. It's like, no, don't risk as a father, he failed his daughter. He failed his daughter because he didn't have to save everyone. And sorry, this is just how I view these things. I'm not a warrior, I'm a guardian. And I wouldn't go with it. I wouldn't do what Tony did because it would be more important for me to stay and grow up and raise my daughter than to save anyone. And I kind of agree with Tony's sentiment at the start and nobody else's. And it's just like, if I was Tony, I would not have come with it. Because, move on. Just move on with your lives. It's sorry, but, it's what I would do if I was Tony. I would, keep what's important to me, and I wouldn't risk it. I wouldn't risk, my world, my family, on a hope and a dream. And I guess maybe that just set me off from kind of the whole driving thing of it. Because at the end he dies, and now his daughter has to grow up without a father. And sorry, happy is not good enough. The father-daughter connection, I don't know why. I don't have kids. I want kids. I especially want a daughter. Because the bond of father to daughter to me is just incredible. And this is a thing I had with Interstellar is when Matthew McConaughey, leaving his daughter and missing her entire life. That scene in the space station where he gets back from the gravity planet. That broke me. I had to leave the theater and I was just crying sitting outside the theater. And it messed me up for a couple days. It's a weakness point, of just, a father and their children and abandonment. And that daughter, he shouldn't have gone back. I don't care that he saved half of existence. It still bothers me that, he gave up what should have been most important to him. He gave up on his family, and he shouldn't have done that. And yes, that's selfish that, you let everybody else stay dead. But as Tony Stark, I wouldn't have done that, and it just, I don't know how he could leave his daughter like that. And it just, the movie is just disappointing. Well, it's not that disappointing because I had really no hype going into it. I could really care less. The trailers were all trash. There's nothing to be excited about. Only really thing that was interesting is the action figures that were coming out of it, and that's because a lot of them are from Infinity War. But I could really care less about so much of it. And, the battle was cool at the end. Thanos was trash. Thanos was, about the same as Ronan. He's no different than Ronan in the first Guardians of the Galaxy. He just basic nothing Marvel villain at this point. He was one of the most fantastic villains in film history, if you ask me, in Infinity War. In this one, he's an average Marvel villain, and that's pretty sub-average. Marvel movies have terrible villains, and Endgame Thanos was trash. And it's just predictable. I couldn't agree with the characters and their decisions, and it was just on all accounts worse than Infinity War. I didn't care for it. I didn't like it. There's no holds barred at anybody that liked it. Just because I don't like it doesn't mean you can't not like it. You can love it for all the reasons you do. You can love it for uh, you know, Tony's acts of heroism. Maybe you see that as a greater sacrifice to not live with his daughter than um and save everyone. But to me, it's just a decision I would never make, even if I knew I was going to succeed. And I knew I would die, and that I would bring back half of everyone. I still wouldn't do it because my family would be more important. So you know, you can, your opinion is yours, my opinion is mine, and there's no harm foul either way. Um, you, I I do not bite back against opposite opinions on something as menial as a film. You can care however you like about that. My last podcast was on music, and I think I've kind of failed to fully emphasize how much, and this is something for all these, they're all my opinion. And my opinion is no more valid, no more anything than anybody else's. So, these are my views, and this is why I didn't really like it. It had good special effects, it was pretty in parts. It had good ideas in terms of the time travel and stuff. I did find the when Tony and Captain go back together to the 70s thing, I did find that bit pretty interesting. I don't know why it stands out so much, and nothing much happened there. But maybe it was the Tony and his father. Again, those things tend to get to me. That was just very cool. And I'm starting to take forever to do this again. No, it was nothing special. Infinity War was something incredible, a fantastic movie to set in history. Endgame was average, but it's going to be set in history because it follows Infinity War. And that makes me kind of sad. If you're excited and you like it, then that's good for you. But I just couldn't really care less. It's just average, and that's generally the worst a Marvel movie can be, is average. Yes, they're good, but it's really not much better than Dark World. I like Dark World. I didn't really like this one, so I'd rather watch Dark World. But if I had my choice, I'd watch Doctor Strange or Infinity War because those are fantastic. But no, that's just kind of my views. Am I glad? I must say, another moment I did love was Captain America being able to have that dance with what's her name. That was the perfect way to encapsulate that for me. Was old timey again family and having the family he always dreamed of. That I like that. I like that a lot. Am I excited for where it goes from here? No. I don't like Captain Marvel. Black Panther's Tony Stark was very much wearing on me. I didn't really like him anymore. But then I loved him when he was on the lake with his family just every day. I really liked him again. But I guess that's one thing I did like Tony Stark in this. I have not liked him in a very long time, really since the first Iron Man. But I liked him a lot in this movie. I just disagree with the choices he made. The Guardians weren't good. I liked Thor being fat. It was interesting. But yeah, that's about much I can think of right now. And yeah, that's all I really got for now. Thank you for watching / listening. If you did, I don't know if anybody ever will watch these things. I just enjoy talking about it. And maybe, again, it's my opinion what my opinions are. So, respect that, please. But with that, peace out.